No threat to our hotel, especially when the hotel got the goddess. Mask off, he's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's hotel. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's hotel. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to our hotel, especially when the hotel got the goddess. Mask off, he's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's hotel. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's hotel. Hope you motherfuckers understand.
Story. A high school athlete fatally stabbed in the chest at a track meet in Texas. It happened on Wednesday morning after telling a fellow student that he was in the wrong place. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. His father, Jeff Metcalf, is speaking out about the tragedy, and Jeff joins us now. First of all, Jeff, let me just start by saying that there aren't words to express how shocked and saddened we are by your loss. And as a parent of a 14-year-old boy and an older man who's now making his own way in the world, I just can't imagine how you're facing the rest of your life without your son. I wanted to ask you this question. I know, 17 years old and amazing. And he was an amazing kid, too. We'll get you to speak about him in just a moment. But I think a lot of people at home are saying, wait a second, how does this happen? He goes to a track meet on Wednesday and is murdered. What happened?
I wish I had all the answers. The answer is my son is gone and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him and he died in his arms. So if you weren't there, please don't spread rumors.
His twin brother Hunter was there, and as we pointed out at the top of this, his twin brother tried to save him, couldn't save him, and Austin died in his arms. He spent the last moments of his life in his brother's arms as he went to meet God. But what did Hunter tell you happened?
Well, the track meet was being delayed. Each individual high schools had like their own little tents to go sit under, and they were sitting under the Memorial High School tent. The individual was saying some words, and they turned to him and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." And he said, and he had a Centennial track sweat on. He said, "Hey man, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go sit with your team." Words were then exchanged. I'm not going to get into the exact details. I know what my son told me, but they asked him to move. And when Austin grabbed his backpack to move, take it, he stabbed him in the chest and killed him.
Oh my gosh. You know, we're seeing a picture of Austin on the screen right beside you. That's his last high school.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the after party. Give yourselves a round of applause because you could be anywhere right now, but you're hanging out with me, and I really do appreciate it. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Share the stream, guys. Let people know we live. You catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. I can use that constructive criticism. You want to donate to the channel? $Cannon Hotep on Cash App, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, always welcome, guys. If you're over on Kick, cup of coffee a month for a subscription helps a struggling streamer over here. Helps a struggling streamer over here. Oh man, hope everybody had a wonderful Thursday. Me, I've been under the weather. I don't know what I got. I think one of the YJs or something up there in Jersey got me all sick because a bunch of people got sick. I was home laying around and shit, drinking tea and trying to cough up a fucking lung. Oh man, but I'm feeling a whole lot better right now. I got to get back to the grind. Got to get back to getting that bread, man. We got to get back to getting that bread. Anyway, guys. So I played a little bit of an interview from the tragedy that happened in Texas with the kid Austin Metcalf and another kid named Carmelo Anthony, which is very interesting. I guess that must be his father or parents' favorite basketball player, you know, by way of Baltimore, Carmelo Anthony. By the way, y'all like the hoodie? You like the hoodie? I think it's, you know, trying to do something. Anyway, so this shit is tragic all the way around, people. This shit is tragic all the way around. This kid shouldn't have lost his life. None of these things, nothing that happened should have transpired. Nothing that happened should have transpired. Right now, I know a lot of people are sitting here speculating if the kid Carmelo was in the right, if he was being attacked, and he just acted in self-defense. And I'm gonna tell you guys, find a hard time seeing him acting in self-defense. It's not a race thing. It's not me looking at him like, oh, this a nigga. He was on some nigga shit. Not even gonna say that. But just from a legal standpoint, he's gonna have a hard time with the whole self-defense situation, and here's why. This is why. Now, as you guys know, as you can see behind me on my wall, I stay strapped. I stay strapped, okay? There's never a time where I don't have my gun on me except for when I'm in New Jersey, because New Jersey will lock my black ass up if I, you know, even remotely come out there with my with the glizzy on me or whatever, right? They be looking for a reason. But me carrying a firearm, me carrying a firearm comes with certain responsibilities, and that's with any weapon. This is with any weapon, right? You got a use of force continuum, and you got who's the aggressor. Now, a lot of people are looking at this kid, Metcalf, as the Austin Metcalf as the aggressor. In a court of law, it's gonna be a hard time trying to say he was the aggressor because he grabbed the kid's backpack. Let's just say here in Maryland, right? Let's say let's just say I'm in somebody's territory, right? I'm on somebody's block, and they like, yo, get from around here. You don't belong around here. And I tell that nigga to make me move. Guess who's the aggressor at that point? Me. You know why? Because I have the monopoly on power. I'm strapped up. Maybe I don't know what the guy got, but I know I got a gun on me. I'm strapped up. I'm the aggressor at that point. See, it's a fine line between who's the aggressor at a certain point. So this is what I think went down, because we're not going to get a straight answer yet, because you got legal ramifications. Lawyers are probably telling the parents not to say nothing. This kid's lawyers probably telling him not to say nothing. This is what I think happened, because, you know, I was a high school athlete, as a lot of you guys that are in the chat, right? Right? So you got a track meet, and they got the little tents, you know, surrounding the track. So each school got its own particular tent, right? They showed it in one of, I'll try to pull it up, but they showed it in one of the cutaways. Each team had their own little tent, you know, the little tents that you put up if you like selling food or you just trying to stay out of the sun. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, the little bullshit you can get from Dick's Sporting Goods. When we talk about no fucking camping tent, we talking about just a regular, just it's just a shade tent. That's all it is. So apparently this kid, Carmelo Anthony, was sitting under Memorial High School's tent and not his own tent. Now that tells me, because, you know, I was a high school football player, right? I did wrestling and all that other shit. This kid wanted to antagonize. Now I don't know if this is a school rivalry. If Centennial High School and Memorial High School have a rivalry and this kid was antagonizing. But whether he was antagonizing or not, he was the aggressor. He put himself in that position. He went over and sat under their tent and started talking shit to the team, which tells me that this kid Carmelo is the aggressor. Right? Then you have the kid Austin who challenges him. Hey, yo, who is you? Just like any of us, just like I've done when I've been at football games or I've been at wrestling tournaments or whatever. You know, you get one of the other rival schools talking shit. Hell, we got into fights on the football field. Kid Pop Slick, Kid Austin grabbed him by the backpack, like, get the fuck out of here. I don't know what was said. We don't know. I'm just speculating what was said. And then next thing you know, kid get poked up. Now, a lot of people like, well, he grabbed his backpack, so he put his hands on him first. He was the aggressor. No, not in the court of law. Court of law would make Carmelo the aggressor. Again, a court of law would make Carmelo the aggressor. He was somewhere he didn't belong. He was under another team's tent knowing that's not his team. You got witnesses saying this kid was talking shit. Austin stood up, spoke up, said, yo, who is you, yo? Oh, I'm Melo. Oh, Melo, go with your fucking team, yo. You don't belong around here. Or whatever he said to yo. Melo probably swelled up like, make me. That's fighting words, right? Again, still the aggressor. Still the aggressor. Make me. So Austin grabbed him by the back, like, get the fuck out of here. Now he stabs him up. Now let's go to the force continuum. Okay? Because it seemed like, according to all the witnesses or whatever's coming out, Austin's the only one to even touch this kid. This kid had the monopoly on power. He had a knife. Legal standpoint, Austin didn't have a knife. Austin had hands and feet. Melo, hands and feet. You got to meet force with force. You can't level up the force unless Carmelo was getting his ass stomped out by the rest of the fucking team. If the rest of the team was stomping his ass out and he pulled a knife and started fucking poking niggas, then okay, he was standing up for himself. They could have killed him, the whole team stomping him out. But it seemed like a one-on-one thing. Apparently the brother wasn't near the situation. Or didn't get involved in it. So in that situation, what are you supposed to do? Knuckle the fuck up. Knuckle the fuck up. You know what I mean? So, for example, right, let's just say, I don't know, me and Strong Dad, we get into it. And like, yo, Cannon, you'll go over there, yo. And I told, nigga, make me go over there. And then Strong Dad come and fucking grab me by my fucking collar, and I pull this motherfucker out, whop, 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 whop. Nah. Know how that shit go. Know how that shit go. So let's recap. Carmelo was in another team's area when he wasn't supposed to be in another team's area. He should have been with his team. 2, he was talking shit. The other kids say, yo, can you leave? Let's say you use a more vulgar term, but can you leave? I don't care if he said, nigga, get the fuck out of here. It's just words. Melo go, will make me move. Kid like, all right. So he grabbed him by his backpack, and then apparently this kid Melo just started stabbing him. From a legal standpoint, the kid Carmelo was the aggressor all the way. The entire way. From the moment he decided to go sit under their tent, knowing it wasn't his team. He was the aggressor the entire way. In my opinion, he went over there trying to antagonize. That's what high school kids do. We did it. We did it. We used to go to other teams' homecomings and be in the parking lot talking shit at the homecoming, at their school. Here's a great point for you. Here's a fucking great point. This just came to me just now. Turn this fan. Let's hide this shit. Milford Mill High School. Was it Milford? No. Randallstown High School, 2002. Spring of 2002, if I'm not mistaken. I ain't even go. Everybody went up to the basketball. I think everybody went up to the basketball game. It might have been spring. It might have been the fall or winter. Everybody went up to the basketball game, right? Everybody up there at the basketball game. Football team out there. We already rivals. So it's Woodlawn, Randallstown, and Milford. Those are the 3 rival schools. We up Randallstown, Milford up Randallstown, and then Randallstown, I think they had a basketball game. So these 3, if those 3 schools is around each other, it's a fight, period. I get a call on Saturday like, hey, yo, we up Randallstown, shit got spicy. We get the scuffling. We get the squabbling up that bitch. And yo, Tick shot somebody. No. Tick stabbed somebody up. The kid Tick stabbed somebody up. The kid Tick was known for antagonizing. He was known for fighting. He was always known for leveling up a situation. They out there scrapping. Nigga Tick stabbed kid up in the middle of the fight. All 3 teams fighting. The kid Tick stabbed dude up in a fight. Guess what happened to Tick? I think that nigga's still in jail. I think that nigga's still in jail. Because the force continued. He leveled up that shit even though it was a fucking fist fight. He wasn't alone. His team was with him. The same thing applies to this situation here. Now, if Melo was just sitting on the bleachers observing and Metcalf and his team came over there and started fucking with him, right? These the home team bleachers, yo. Go over across there, yo. What you doing over here? They went and started fucking with him. Then that would make Austin Metcalf and his teammates the aggressors at that point, which would put Carmelo in a bad situation, making him, could say he was feared for his life. But that's not the case. He went over there, and this is my opinion. This is Cannon Hotep just speculating on what could have happened. He went over that bitch to antagonize and intimidate. They told him to leave. He said, make me. Austin stood the fuck up, grabbed him, and he pulled out the knife and started poking him. That's what happened, in my opinion. And if that's what happened, and that's what continues to come out, then the kid, Carmelo Anthony, was the aggressor. Period, full stop, from the moment he went over to the other team's bleachers. under the other team tent, knowing that wasn't his tent. Verbally antagonizing the group. Challenging Austin when he said, yo, leave. Austin said, what's up? He grabbed him, and then, boom, he poked him. The knife wasn't necessary. The knife wasn't necessary. That's hands. That's hands and feet. And if you that thorough, if Carmelo was that thorough and he was that nigga, he would have shot the fade with him. But he didn't. He stabbed him up in the chest. Now you're going to have some prosecutors trying to see if that shit's premeditated. Did he go over there with the intention on stabbing somebody? That's what they're going to look at. That's how they're going to connect the dots. And all of my people who carry guns, who went through classes, know what I'm talking about. They're going to try to connect them dots. He's got the weapon. He's got the monopoly on power. And when you got the monopoly on power, you got to avoid bad situations. He went over there. He sat under a tent he wasn't supposed to sit under. He challenged Austin to a fight. He didn't try to retreat. He didn't try to de-escalate. He didn't even try to shoot the fade. It ain't like he was getting his ass whooped and he was getting his fucking head bashed into the fucking ground. No, the nigga grabbed the knife immediately and hit yo. All the way around, that shit does not. This situation don't favor Carmelo. I'm sorry, it don't. And this is purely from a legal standpoint. Now you got mainstream media, you got all of these influencers and shit all over social media trying to make this shit a race thing. Like the father said, salute the man. Salute to the father for saying this shit wasn't a race thing. So let's get that shit let's make this shit clear. This is a people thing. This is a people thing. This ain't a race thing. This is a people thing. Now, I get it. I had homies that went to high school that carried weapons on them. I knew niggas in high school that had the blickies on. Because of what they did after school or where they had to go after school. Or trouble that could have came to that, up to them after school. But it doesn't make it a good thing. It doesn't make it right. That knife shouldn't have been at the track meet. And even if Carmelo had the knife at the track meet, that shit should have been in his bag and it's just in there. Maybe for when he leave and he go home or whatever he got to do just to keep himself safe. I'm trying to figure out how the knife was ready. How the fuck was the knife? Was it just in his fucking, was the knife just in his fucking, in his track pants? In his warm-ups? Was the knife just in his warm-ups just ready? There's a lot of questions, and I can't wait to see what comes out of this. Now, this just happened yesterday, so everything is fluid. I'm sure we're going to start to hear other accounts as police do their investigation and clear certain people. I'm sure we're going to start to hear accounts on what actually went down. But as of right now, and I don't see this shit changing. I don't care if Austin called him a nigga. The way the legal system and the courts are going to look at it is that Carmelo was the aggressor. From the moment he walked his ass over to and sat under that team's tent, knowing that's not where he belonged. He belonged with his team. See, when I first heard, I thought they went to the same school and they was teammates or something and they was beefing. Nah, that's not even it. He went to another school. Carmelo went to one school. Metcalf went to another school. Sound like rivalry or beef. And I know niggas. I knew niggas in high school, and I know niggas now who will purposefully go in a bad situation just to hopefully cause some shit. Not saying that's what Carmelo did, but looking at the facts of the matter, that's what it sounded like he fucking did. Yeah, I read the articles. I read the article, and I've been listening to multiple interviews. This is what happened. One went to Centennial High School. One went to Memorial High School. Melo went to Centennial. Metcalf went to Memorial. Carmelo was under Memorial High School's tent. Melissa Reese says seems like a teenage boy thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that when you're in high school and you got rivalry, that's what you do. You antagonize. You go over there and you pick at them and you try to get them out of their game. You intimidate them. That's what happens. But sometimes that shit go way too fucking far. But from strictly a legal standpoint, the kid Carmelo was in the wrong the whole way through. I'm in your space. I'm over there talking shit to you. You tell me move, I say make me move. So now I'm inviting the danger. Now I'm inviting the violence. You match my energy, and you like, all right, cool, let's get it. Then all of a sudden I say I feel threatened. I feel like my life is in danger, and I fucking stab you after I was the one. After I was the one who just sat here and invited all of this? Nah. And I get it, B, it's Texas, right? But even in Texas, that's how they look at that shit. I don't think this kid walks. I don't. Unless it come out that Metcalf had a knife and he pulled his knife, or Metcalf had some kind of weapon or some kind of blunt object or something that he was about to tee off on Melo with. Melo was wrong all the way through. That's what the witnesses is for. That's what the witnesses is for. You know what I mean? You're right. They got to prove malice. They got to prove malice. But if you got a bunch of people like, yeah, yo, he was over here, he was sitting here, he was talking mad shit. Metcalf said, hey, yo, who are you anyway? And he told him to move, and he said, make me. If you got a bunch of people that's corroborating that story, that's what they're going to go with. That's what they're going to go with. That shit can change on a whim. That shit can change on a whim. Now, like I said, if Melo was just sitting there and it was just some open bleachers, right? It's just some open fucking bleachers. He just sitting there, and they came into his space, telling him to get the fuck out of there. They ain't want him there. Then that would make Metcalf the aggressor. But then the paradigm shifts when Melo goes, well, make me move. Make me move. He's no longer the victim there. Now he's inviting the danger. Like I said, that shit is real murky, yo. And that's how prosecutors are going to look at it. I feel bad, man. This is a tragic situation. That kid shouldn't have lost his life. None of this shit should have transpired. Like I said, I ain't making no race thing. I'm not saying that this kid was on some demon time and he just wanted to hurt motherfucker. I'm not trying to say that. I know how teenage boys are. I know how athletes are. We like to get under each other's skin, especially if it's a rivalry. Then we might go pick at them or start some shit a little bit to get them out of their game. I get that. But to escalate that shit to a knife when you could have just shot the fade with yo? Nah. I can't throw that kid that bail. You know what I mean? I can't throw him that bail. I can't. That's, again, let's look at the facts of the matter. He under their tent. He talking shit. Okay. Par for the course. Par for the course. Right? It's high school, it's rivalry, it's sports. It's par for the course. It's going to happen. We'll go over there and fuck with them. But the minute the shit started to escalate, he should have been backing out of there like the Kool-Aid man. Like, all right, Joe, I see you on the track, or whatever it is, right? Because apparently Melo played football too, apparently, right? So maybe the rivalry goes beyond track. Like I said, with my school, we was at a basketball game when that shit went down. We wasn't on the football field. But we was fresh off the fucking fight in the middle of the football season. They was all like Milford was our homecoming game. We got a fight in the middle of the game. They stopped the game. The shit that happened with Tick was that December, I think it was. Yeah, the basketball season was in play. But that shit happens when you're antagonizing. You see your rival, you go over there and start fucking with him. Da 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 da. Right? It happens. That's what they do. But the minute you escalate that shit with a weapon, that shit a no-go, homie. That shit is a no-go. You go, man, with Baltimore in a real place. You know what I mean? So from a purely legal standpoint, Carmelo Anthony is screwed. That kid is screwed. Who knows why he went over there? Who knows? We don't know. Right? All I know is a nigga squared with you or put his hands on you, you don't immediately go to this. You don't immediately go to this, okay? You don't immediately go to that. Even that shit being ready on him at the time where he was able to get to that shit and do that shit right then and there, that shit is sketchy to me too. You had a track meet. Why you got the knife in your warm-ups? I'm assuming that's where it was. Why you got the knife in your warm-up? Why isn't the knife in your backpack? Why is it on your person? Like readily available. So now the prosecution, like, this shit was in his pocket, it wasn't in his backpack. Did he go over there to intentionally cause some shit? I don't know if it was a folding or a fixed blade, Jonah. Boxing classes should be included in healthcare specifically for men. It's a possibility. Yeah, Melissa, that's how I'm looking at it. Exactly, B. It shows the jury premeditation. Telling you guys. Here, Carmelo, he screwed himself. He screwed himself with this one. He screwed himself with this one. I'm not looking at this shit. Oh, it's a white kid. No. Nope. Because you know why? This shit happened all the time in the black community. Black on black crime with the kids. The kid Tick stabbed another black kid. He stabbed another black kid. Same shit would be happening to Mello if he stabbed another black kid. It just wouldn't be fucking front page news. It'd just be par for the course. Niggas fucking killing each other. But no matter how you cut it, no matter how you look at it, this shit is tragic. This shit is tragic. 17-year-old. Life cut short for what? Ego? For a fucking pissing match? He lost his life over a pissing match. Pray for his family and stuff, man. And these kids are young. They're 17 years old. This kid, Mello, just, he potentially just ruined his whole entire life. I doubt if he walk away from this. In order for him to walk from this, every witness got to be like, he was just sitting there not doing nothing, and they was fucking with him. And he stood up for himself. That's how that shit would have to go. That Mello was just sitting there. They came up and started fucking with him. And he stood up for himself. But the shit is just terrible, man. It's terrible. So, this shit gonna be when the trial happens, there's gonna be a bunch of people grifting off the trial. I wish I can get my man in here. Sean, what time is it? Sean might be doing his own. Let me see. Sean might be doing his shit. If y'all know what I'm talking about LawTube Sean, potentially criminal on YouTube. He says, is he up? Usually he'll be doing yeah, he's streaming right now, so he's streaming. So I'm gonna leave him alone. But maybe I'll holler at him. He can talk more about it when we get more information. I agree, Emmanuel. He's doing 25 under Trump. Domestic terrorism. Let me stop. But it's just a sad situation, man. It's such a sad situation. I hate to see it. No matter who it is, whatever, it doesn't matter. I hate to see it. Because it don't gotta be that. Now you got two kids whose lives are fucking ruined, or two kids whose lives are over. The kid Austin, who's his family about to bury him, and this kid Carmelo, who could possibly be going to jail. What's up, Rhett? Yeah, fist fight is a lost start. For example, right? Again, I carry a gun. If I get into a squabble and the person doesn't have a weapon and they just trying to fight, then either I need to retreat or I need to throw my hands. I can't pull the gun and shoot him because he tried to punch me. No, he was trying to punch me, so I shot this nigga. No, my black ass going to jail. So he ain't had no weapons. He was just swinging on you. And so you shot this nigga. My black ass going to jail. Like I said, it's the use of force continuum. That's the main thing. The use of force continuum is what's going to get Carmelo him the fuck up. That's what's going to get him hemmed up. So, for example, right, if it's one-on-one dude the guy he squared up and we fucking street fighter out there and we throwing hands, right? Can't pull my gun and shoot him. Three niggas trying to beat me up? Yep, I can shoot them niggas. Somebody got a bat or some kind of weapon on them that could do me some great harm, I can shoot them niggas. Cause I can level up the use of force at that point. Well, officer, he had a knife, so I wasn't gonna let him stab me. I shot him. Well, officer, he had a skateboard in his hand. He had a skateboard in his hand. I knew if he connected with me, that'll put me out. Potentially give me a coma or whatever, or brain that. I shot him. Well, officer, it was 6 of them. It was 6 of them trying to take me out, officer. So I shot him. There's certain criteria you got to meet to level up your force. And according to the information we have now, it could change, but according to the information we have now, none of that shit met criteria. Yeah, or that. Or I could be getting my ass beat the fuck up and I'm about to go unconscious and this guy just won't let up. I can pow. Because now my life is in danger. But they never even got to that point. Not to mention, pretty sure in Texas that you're not allowed to have knives or guns on school campuses. Again, legally standing. You're not allowed to carry knives or guns. That's going to bite them in the ass. It's just a sad fucking situation all the way around, man. Crazy part is he got a twin brother, so now the mother, when she wake up, the father, when they wake up, they see the twin brother, they immediately gonna be reminded of the other one that ain't here no more. They're immediately gonna be reminded of the one that ain't here no more. Crazy. Every time that twin look in the mirror, and he gonna see his brother. Not high school, no. Not high school. Some colleges allow you to carry guns. Like I think my brother's college, Shepherd, I think you're allowed to carry on campus now. Certain colleges and universities you can carry on campus. Right. But high school, no. No. There probably ain't no metal detectors, right? The track is out on the it's out on the outside. Right, it ain't inside the school. Track outside. Usually the buses pull around the back to the football field or track, and the kids get off the bus right there. Dude, not every school got metal detectors. As fucking hood as the school I went to, we didn't have metal detectors. Schools in the city got some. You got to wear clear book bags in the city. So I don't know, man, but I guess we'll get more information when it comes out. But this is just a tragic situation on all sides. And watch out for the grifters who try to grift off of this, trying to make this a race thing. Carmel, he was a savage and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like HJ said, like he said, a little girl. I gotta find that. I wish I had it. I don't have it. I was looking for it on X. But let me see something. Excuse me. Apparently the one girl said, I guess HJ said the one girl spoke out and was like, yeah, I didn't think he would do something like that. Yeah, he be fighting a lot, but I didn't think he'd stab somebody. Yeah, he be fighting a lot, but I didn't think he stabbed somebody. I don't know if some of these, let me see. I don't know if I don't know if that's photoshopped or not. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I'm looking at certain aspects, but regardless, him holding a AK in his hand isn't indicative of him being. Let me see. Carmelo Anthony posted a photo on right just hours before stabbing Austin Metcalf to death. The other photo was shared 6 weeks ago. I mean, that's not indicative of him being violent because he has an AK in his hand. That doesn't prove anything to me, right? I got pictures of my kids with guns in their hand. That don't make them violent. You know, and this crazy part is that the right is pointing toward this shit, right? And it's like, come on, guys, really? Is that what we doing now? Is that what we doing? That doesn't make just because he has a gun in his hand doesn't make it violent. Just because he got his middle finger up doesn't make him violent. That's all I'm saying. Charging him with murder. I mean, on the other side, this nigga could be a legit YN. We don't know. But here we go. Look at this. You see. So you see this picture right here? Y'all know these right here. Y'all know these things right here. These little tents. So, and you can see the other school, Liberty. There's stairs right there. The other school, Liberty, whatever school, right there. Boom. There's another tent. So each school had their own tent out there. So I don't know, man. More information will come out. More information to come out. It's just a sad situation, guys. You know. But them posting pictures of the kid, oh, he holding a gun in his hand and all of this other shit is like, let that shit go. That's not a smoking gun. That's not a smoking gun, guys, because he had a gun in his hand. Sorry. Not. I mean, it shouldn't even get that far. I don't care what kind of issue y'all got with each other. It should never get that serious. Anyway, so I wanted to share this with you guys, right? So HJ and Unc was talking about how I guess China right now is encouraging kids to go to school for trades, right? You know what I mean? Manufacturing work, just, you know, go get a trade. And I've been saying that shit. So I was like, yo, I know I was on Sonny's channel and me and Sonny was talking about this, right? So let me see, is this it right here? Yeah, this is it right here. So I'm gonna play this real quick because I want y'all to hear it. Let me get to the point. Let me get to it. Boom, it's right here. Listen to this. Now, before I get into it, so HJ and them was saying, like, kids don't want to do trades no more. All these kids want to go to school and spend a bunch of money on degrees that they won't be able to use when they get out. You got a lot of kids out here who get these degrees and they servers at Fridays. They done spent $100,000 and they servers at Fridays, or they doing like the gig economy or whatever. They not using any of that education they paid for to do anything conducive. Meanwhile, they out here working for the kid or the dude who ain't go to college. And I think it's a good idea in what China's doing, which is encouraging these kids to go to school for these blue collar jobs. You know what I mean? So check this out. This is what I said. I said this, when the Sonny had me on her show, like 2001, so like 4 years ago. Let's check it out.
The dope boy in the corner, dope boy then took an interest in him. Now the dope boy say, hey, yo, come here. I got something for you to do. You know, kid over there, like, what's up? You know, he said, just take this right here, give it to you over there in that car. You know, he go do that. He's like, all right, here go $100. You know, now this kid just got from that dope boy what he been trying to get from his mother or his, you know, or his father, whoever, uncle, forever. You know, he got some attention and he just got a purpose.
I thought I had it the right one.
You know what I mean? So now
it's coming up.
Kid is out here now striving to be like that dude that just gave him $100. Now he like, you know, you need some money, you come holler at me, you do a couple things for me, I got you. And now this kid caught up in the game, and that happens so much here. You know, simply because we don't have good role models. You know, a lot of these kids don't have good role models, and the role models they look forward to is the guys in the street.
And I think too, to add to that, and I know like people don't like it when I bring this in and add this to the conversation, but this is how they get their introduction to capitalism. So the whole system that they've been put in the entire time, and people really need to understand this, if their family is like on welfare, especially, and they see the government help, so the government is taking care of us, right? Well, the government taking care of you sucks. Like, look at what it looks like when the government takes care of you. You live in crappy housing, you live in a crime-ridden community, you go to a crappy school, like you are surrounded by the equality of poverty, right? That is their idea of what government taking care of you looks like. And they run from that idea. And they run towards capitalism because it's like, okay, I will be able to take care of myself. I can feed myself. I can clothe myself. I can defend myself. And that is what they are striving for. And this is the way I try to tell Republicans and conservatives this. They're striving for our principles. They want what we believe in. They just don't have access to get there. And the one way that they do get access is through destructive capitalism, is through that black market capitalism. But they are taught all of the basic principles. So they're taught supply and demand. They're taught having integrity within business. Like they're taught the basics of how economics run. If we can take what they are taught and get them to keep that hunger, just be able to refocus it towards something legal, I think we can do a lot to change an entire generation.
I think you're 100% right with that. I mean, like you said, they taught supply and demand. You know, they taught customer base, stuff like that. They're taught essentially they're being taught to be entrepreneurs at that point in time. Yep. You know what I mean? You know, but like you said, it's just misguided. You know, I remember back in, you know, when I was in high school, we had a bunch of vocational schools back back when I was in school. You know, I mean, I'm not that old. I graduated 2003, but we had like, you know, certain schools had auto shops. Certain schools had, electrical programs or HVAC programs. Certain schools had, cosmetology for the girls, and we don't have that anymore. We don't have those anymore. We used to have a West Side Skills Center where people could go and learn, IT and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff's gone by the wayside, and these kids don't have any other recourse. A lot of these kids aren't cut off for college, but he might be a hell of a mechanic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they don't have these resources,
and they're taught,
and that's where
they're taught that the trades are like beneath, and this is another function of these progressive schools. Like the reasons they took the trades out, they were like, okay, well, black people have this legacy of slavery, and if we're going to put them into a manual labor kind of education, then we're not doing them any good. So we need to give them a classical liberal arts. That was their thinking, to get us away from the trades. Like it was somehow beneficial to us to separate us from like recession-proof industries with high wages, like you said earlier, almost like it was being done on purpose.
Right. I got a homeboy right now that he conservatively has to make $150,000 a year fixing cars out of the back of a van. You know what I mean? That's what they don't tell these kids. They might not be the sexiest jobs, but you can make a lot of money doing them. Like you said, like I said, it's almost like it's been done on purpose. A girl, a young lady can make, a boatload of cash, doing hair or nails and stuff like that. We don't see that in our community, especially like because they run to the Asian stores and stuff like that. We don't see a whole lot of those things here because it's what's the word? It's being conditioned out of them.
Again, this was when was this? 3 years ago. I said this 3 years ago, what Japan is doing right now. I said this 3 years ago, what Japan is talking about right now. We used to have skills centers. We used to have vocational schools. I think Baltimore or Maryland might got two. Baltimore might got two now. Right? Now they don't have no more. They want these kids to go into debt going into college. Now, when I was coming up, I wish I'd have listened to my father. I wish I would have listened to my father. You know why? Because my father kept telling me, yo, when I didn't go for football, he was like, have a plan B, which I did. And plan B's working out, but at the same time, I didn't need to go to school to do plan B, and I still went to school anyway. I look back like, damn, I wasted a lot of money going to school. Could have just did this. HVAC, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, auto mechanics, right? Like I just said, cosmetology, right? Bookkeeping. These are skills that you can get to make the bag. Are they sexy? No, they're not sexy. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with a labor job where you can make $80 to $90 to $100,000 doing. Look at truck drivers. There's a lot of people jumping to the truck driver trade because it's a bag to get there. A lot of people going into the construction trades because there's a lot of money to get in construction trades. Fuck working for like a contractor. You can do side work. You can make a quick $100, $150 putting up a ceiling fan. I fix computers. I do this shit on the side sometimes. I can make a quick $300 just wiping the virus off of somebody's computer. You feel me? Like there are other jobs other than going to school. Go to school unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. There's so much money out here to be made doing labor jobs or jobs that's not attractive. Like Unc said, a motherfucker will take a $40,000 a year job just because it's behind a desk. I do IT and I make good money, but I be on the port all the time, and them fucking them port workers, they get money. They ride around in forklifts and doing maintenance stuff and all of this other shit, operating cranes, making $150,000, $160,000 a year. Skilled labor. Skilled labor. But here in America, what we tell them, you know, that job ain't sexy. That's for low skills. That's for the Mexicans. That's for this. Yeah, all right. I had some renovations done on the house. Guess who did that shit? Construction workers doing side work to make some extra money. It can. How much you charge to wipe my computer? I got a virus. $75 an hour, 3-hour minimum. Hey, can you hang a ceiling fan for me? Yeah, no problem. How much? $150. I hang it. But they don't tell these kids that. They tell them you need to go to college, you need to become this, you need to become that. I was at my daughter's cotillion a couple of weeks ago, right? I'm at my daughter's cotillion. And all the kids up there telling, trying to, market themselves to get scholarship money. And they're all, I want to be an aerospace engineer. I want to be this. I want to be that. And I'm like, it was one little girl up there, and she was like 10. And said, I want to do hair and nails when I get older. And I said, she's going to make it. There was another high school kid, 16 to 17 years old. He said he was going into the military, but he wanted to be an auto mechanic, but he going into the military to be a helicopter mechanic. Everybody else had these extravagant plans. These kids had realistic plans and goals. My father can't spell the word spell. You ask my father to spell any word, he gonna look at you like you dumb, like a Siri, do that shit for me. Guess what? You got bread on top of bread on top of bread. Been in business for 23 years. This nigga just walk around to people with his wallet open, talk about pick a fresh one, pick a fresh one. They just walk up to you like, pick a fresh one. And you know what he does for a living? You know what our family business is? Some of you guys who jump into a live when I'm down there doing some stuff for him, you see what I do. This nigga, he is a trash man. His business is trash. Boat disposal, RV disposal, and bulk trash removal. A multi-million-dollar a year business. And my father barely has a high school diploma. But it's not a sexy job, right? Not a sexy job. And a lot of kids are turned off by that. But, and I said it, I wonder if I think I kept saying it on here. Let's keep listening for a second. Like I said it on here.
And I have more of my female friends doing the bundle service. Like, no, we will deliver your bundles to your door. So, like, I think that you're seeing a lot of, especially black women, like, yeah, no, I'm going to figure out how to eat more off of this that was being offered to us before. Because a lot of us, I don't even think if we're really going to get quality bundles, we're not going to a store anymore. We're going to our Connect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like, who know black hair better than the rate? Because now they're starting to break out of the matrix, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I could do this on my own. Why am I going over here and buying this when I can get it from?
It maybe wasn't here. It might have been on another channel. So like I said, I don't know if it was here. I forgot what podcast I was on. I was on a lot of podcasts when I first came out. Anyway, I said it on this channel. Trades are going to be a niche, right? They're going to go from being abundant to being going from being abundant to being. Going from being a niche to being abundant, because people are going to need them. People need electricians. People need carpenters. People need truck drivers. And there's a lot of people not going into these trades. They want to do other things. They want to go to college to be a fucking marine biologist. And then when bitches find out that being a marine biologist is more than just what I forgot what comedian it was. More than just going to fucking sit on the beach and getting a suntan and playing with dolphins. It's a lot that goes into being a marine biologist, and they get turned off by it. And then next thing you know, they getting a degree in fucking liberal arts or something. My homeboy wife, the kids going to school, they going to college to get a degree in left-handed sock puppetry. Well, big ass fans is different. Them fans is big as shit. I'm gonna have to pay you. You gonna have to pay me some money for them bitches. Them big ass fans, them bitches be ridiculous. You know what I mean? Them fans is crazy. Shits look like fucking helicopter propellers. They probably are helicopter propellers. But A-Shay was right. Unc was right. These trades, these kids or these people, people that's going into trades is getting smaller and smaller. But you got a lot of people that are retiring. They're retiring from these trades, and there's nobody replacing them. So it behooves a lot of children who especially aren't cut out for college to start looking into these trades and go get that bag. And y'all know if your kid is cut out for college or not. Y'all know that shit. So stop selling college to your kid if you know your kid ain't college material. You got a lot of people doing that shit. They trying to sell their kids on college, and their kids is not cut out for college. Not cut out for college. But might be a good mechanic. Might have the aptitude to be a mechanic. Kid might have the aptitude to frame out a fucking bedroom. Just saying. Just saying. So salute to China, man. We need to get on that same thing. We need to get on that same thing. Otherwise, just let the Mexicans in. Let the Mexicans in so they can start doing the shit. That's another one of those quote-unquote jobs that Americans don't want to do. Bring those Mexicans in this bitch. If we ain't going to do it. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, let's get to this Trump tariff shit. Okay. Now, I talked about this earlier today on my channel. If you've seen the show today, you've seen the show today, you saw a good show. If you missed the show today, you missed a really good show. Now, that's what I got to say on Trump's tariffs, and then we're going to get out of here. All right. First off, the shit just got enacted. The plan just got enacted, and people are losing their mind. They think the fucking sky is falling. Oh, my God, we're about to die. We're going to starve to death. It's been day one. This is day one. Day one. So get your head out of your ass and understand that it's going to take some time, right, to for this shit to work or not work. It's going to take some time, y'all. 2, they're reciprocal taxes or tariffs. People keep throwing the word reciprocal out the window. which means he's taxing these countries in accordance to what they're fucking taxing us. Vietnam is tariffing the United States at 46%. But we ain't putting shit on Vietnam. Or maybe 2%. But they hitting us with 46%. Canada, 25%. Mexico, 25%. Some other countries, 64%. And guess what we're charging these countries to import shit to America? Not a goddamn thing. That shit trips me out. And then people go, "Oh my God, he's gonna tank the economy. He's gonna tank the economy. Oh my God." So you don't got a problem with these countries fucking running our pockets and us not doing nothing about it. Like I said earlier, at the minimum, the reciprocal tax is going to be a wash. So if Canada is charging us 25% and then we charge them 25%, that's a fucking wash. You're getting the money back that they're hitting us for in tariffs. At the minimum, which is putting more money back into America. I think earlier today, Justine looked it up for me. America spent $97 billion with a B in tariffs. That's how much we spent on tariffs. $97 billion. So at the bare minimum, we'll be saving that and getting that back. Two, or more, three, whatever. If tariffs ain't work, why the fuck are these other countries tariffing America? If tariffs don't work, then why are they using tariffs? Next thing people forget is the purchasing power of America. We have all the leverage. A lot of these countries' GDP and economy is dependent on what America fucking buys from them. People keep forgetting about that shit. If we ain't buying from that country, more than likely their economy is going to suffer. So why not use that leverage? There's a lot of countries out here that can't survive without America buying their shit. And like I said, this is going to be a war of attrition. It's not going to be pretty. It was never going to be pretty. Like I told you guys over and over again, for 4 years we had an administration fucking off with the money. You can't fix that overnight. In order to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs, and right now, Trump cracking some eggs. It might cost you a couple more dollars for them eggs right now, but in the long run, you're going to thank him for it. There's a method here, and you got to be patient. Stop letting them manipulate you with the stock market. Oh, the stock market today was down because... Stop. They just do that shit to get you all panicked up. But America has all of the leverage. We have the purchasing power. And like I said, it's a war of attrition. Some countries, they might be able to hold tight for a little bit, but not for fucking long. Like I said, when those weaker countries start to feel the burn of America not purchasing from them, they'll fall in line. Canada going to fall in line. Mexico's going to fall in line. Vietnam. They're going to fall in line. Even China. It might take China a little longer, but they're going to fall in line too. That's right, Yoke Dog. A financial fucking been happening for 40 years in 10 plus regime. You're right. He's right. But look at the investments that just happened here because of Trump's tariffs. That's the next point. It's a bargaining chip. It's a bargaining chip. A lot of these companies are starting to come back to America to avoid the tariffs and build here, because Trump's giving them incentives to build here. Not just you won't get taxed. They're also getting incentives to open and build here, just like they did in 2016. Am I the only person that remember all of this shit is just a repeat of 2016? This is what he was doing in 2016. So now you got Apple pledging $500 billion or $600 billion to the American economy. Honda just opened up a Civic plant. Kohler opening up another plant. Taiwan pledging to open up plants and money to America, to American infrastructure or business. Saudi Arabia, some astronomical amount of money that they're pledging as far as trade here. I think it's over $1 trillion in revenue that'll be coming back here because of the tariffs. And these companies that's willing to play ball with the United States. Look at this shit.
Exactly right. For the next couple of months, we're going to offer our customers the same deal that our employees get. And as you say, that's worth thousands of dollars. You come into our store, you get employee pricing. This is kind of to call a little bit of a timeout. We've heard some uncertainty from our customers, and we want them to be assured that Ford, the most American auto company, is going to do right by them, as are our dealers. We make the most cars here. We employ the most. We export the most. And so we here at Ford, we're in a good position to address customers' concern and give them a really great deal on a great vehicle.
So that's great.
Exactly right. For the next
Ford, they're like, okay, so until this plan starts to come together, we're gonna give employee pricing to people who want to buy cars, which I think is roughly probably like $3,000 or $4,000 off of a car. I think maybe a little bit more, which I promise you is not fucking with Ford's bottom line by no stretch of the imagination. They're like, let's make this shit happen. Let's go. They see the long-term thinking to this. Because people think in sound bites and in instant dopamine, they don't understand that it's going to be a long road to hoe. It's not going to be something easy. You can't just at the snap of a finger turn the economy around. Like I said, they've been fucking off with our money and our resources for how long? And you think that shit just going to happen overnight? No, we're going to go through some shit, guys. Is this what's going to happen? But the benefits from it is going to be phenomenal, sensational. So like I said, man, if the tariff shit going to work, I don't fucking know. I don't know if the tariffs are going to work. I don't, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. I see the plan. I see how it works in the long run. And people hoping this shit fail. I'm like, yo, if this shit is successful, you won't have to pay income tax anymore. If it's successful, you don't have to pay income tax anymore. I'm all for that shit. Like I said, we pay how much? 30 to 40% in taxes. We pay 30 to 40% in income taxes. We pay taxes all year round in our payroll checks. And at the end of the year, they come to us and go, yeah, you ain't paying enough. I need another $2,000 from you. We just did our taxes today. We didn't do it with the tax lady doing them right now. I hope we get something or break even or something. I don't want to owe. That shit ain't fun. And in the meantime, between time, they talking about not taxing anybody's income who makes less than $150,000 a year. That don't sound like a bad idea to me. I think Trump's got a plan. I think he's working through it. He's being methodical about it. It's not going to happen overnight, but it'll happen. This is chess, not checkers, people. Everybody's like, this is such a bad idea. He's going to tank the economy. So what's the difference from what Trump is? So all right, so let's listen to Trump in this right here. It's on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke. And yet we let Japan come in and dump everything.
Oh, yeah, these allergies whooping my ass, bro. These allergies whooping my ass. I had like a sinus infection or something. I don't know what the fuck was happening. Anyway. Trump been standing 10 toes down on that shit since the fucking early 90s or 80s, late 80s, early 90s. But he's right. We letting these countries take advantage of us. They stealing from us. They picking our pockets, and we letting that shit happen. We letting that shit happen. We looking the other way because we don't want no drama. We don't like drama. Well, it's going to be tough. If we start, there's going to be a trade war. Yeah, it's a fucking trade war that we going to win because we have all the leverage. Yeah, state tax is different from federal. Hopefully the states follow suit, but if not, I'll take the federal. Shit. But check this out. This is interesting. This is back when Nancy Pelosi actually looked like something. Check this shit out. This was interesting.
How far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker? And how much more dangerous proliferation has to exist before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo? As I mentioned, it's about jobs, proliferation, and human rights. And there are those who say we shouldn't link human rights and trade and proliferation and trade. I disagree. But if we just want to take up this issue on the basis of economics alone, indeed, China should not receive most favored nation status for several reasons that I'd like to go into now. I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%.
Where's all this energy now? Where's all this shit now? This is Nancy Pelosi from 1996 talking about tariffs and how the United States is getting their booty holes taken from them by China. It ain't just China, it's other countries. China charged, the back that was charging us 35% in tariffs, and we was only charging 2%. What? By the way, thank you, Justin and a manga fan, and Mike Has Bad Knees for the gifted sub. I appreciate you guys. Y'all are real ones. Again, if you're over on Kick, feel free to subscribe. A cup of coffee a month can help a struggling streamer.
Is that reciprocal on exports?
What was that word again? Reciprocal? Even Nancy was talking about reciprocal tariffs.
China only allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%. And it's limitless because we have not placed any restriction.
She sounds just like Trump in that other clip, don't she? She sounds just like Trump in that other clip, don't she? What changed? What changed?
In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. The president in his statement requesting this special waiver said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least.
Now y'all see why Trump is trying to bring tariffs back, reciprocal tariffs. Do you see it now? You see how tariffs work? Let's look at it in reverse. Tariffs that China enacted on the United States created 10 million jobs. Again, I ask, if tariffs are so bad, then why are all these other nations using tariffs against us? Nancy just fucking explained it to you. Pop said Nancy got the call. Yeah, she got the call, all right. All right, Jonah. We're going to get it done. Probably not tonight, but we get it done. Matter of fact, Monday, Jonah. Let's do it Monday. Emmanuel said, I'm surprised Nancy let this stay online. She probably forgot. Her box wine. See what else you got to say.
Fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser. And one of the reasons that it is because first let me just make another point, and that is that our colleagues on the other side of this issue will say the trade with China, exports to China have increased 3 times in the last 10 years. They have. But they fail to mention that imports from China have increased 11 times, thereby leading to this huge trade deficit. The other issue, in addition, if intellectual property is a $2 billion, $3 billion loss, technology transfer is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. If you want to sell to China, your products into China, the Chinese insist that you open a factory there. They misappropriate your technology, open factories of their own, and then say to you, now we want to see your plan for export. That's as simply as I can say it briefly. But the fact is, this isn't about products made in America. The Chinese want American products that are made in China. And the most serious of these transfers of technology are in the airline industry, where Boeing tail sections of the Boeing 737s were mostly made in Wichita, Kansas. Now they are made in Shen province, where workers make $50 a month. Yeah, and they had the transfer of the technology and the transfer of the jobs has taken place. General Motors, Ford, they're all fighting to get in to build factories there so they can make parts there. They want MFN so they can get those parts back into the United States. So we are exporting not low-tech jobs and textile jobs. We're exporting our technology. Now, if you take a country the size of China, with the very cheap, and in some instances, slave labor, the lack of market access, that rip off of our intellectual property.
That's another thing. That's another thing. All of these all these Democrats now who was all against child labor in China and all this other shit, all of a sudden now they all for that fucking cheap China labor. They all for that cheap China labor now when Trump went in and enact some tariffs. Oh boy. You said she had the heavies? Yeah. Nancy had some
The
heavies.
transfer of technology, a country that is not willing to play by the rules in any respect in this trade relationship, you have a serious threat not only to our relationship, but to the industrialized world. And if there's one message that
Look at this. What did it say? Exports to China. $11.8 billion. Imports from China. $45 billion. Sound like China was using. It sounded like China was using the tariffs correctly. It sounded like China's using the tariffs the way that Trump's trying to use the tariffs.
that I want our colleagues to understand today and our constituents is that on this day, your member of Congress could have drawn the line to say to the President of the United States, do something about this U.S.-China trade relationship that is a job loser for the United States. And this brings us to the point that others have said, well, we can't isolate China. Do you think for 1 minute that with 10 million jobs at least and $35 billion and be over $40 billion this year in a trade surplus, all those billions of dollars in surplus, that the Chinese are going to walk away? Where are they going to take 35 to 40% of their exports?
I got to give it to Don DeMarco. I got to give base 90s Pelosi the Don DeMarco. I'm going to run that back just 1 second. Right here.
Of 10 million jobs at least and $35 billion and be over $40 billion this year in a trade surplus, all those billions of dollars in surplus, that the Chinese are going to walk away. Where are they going to take 35 to 40% of their exports? Who's going to buy them?
Straight from the fucking drunk's mouth. What the fuck is Trump been trying to say the whole time? We have all the leverage. We never stop having the leverage. We never stop having the leverage. If your liberal friends got a hard time understanding why Trump is enacting reciprocal tariffs, show them this video. They show it. Tell them it's fucking Nancy Pelosi saying it in the 90s. I don't get it. What changed? What changed? I'm going to tell you what changed. Orange Man bad. That's what changed. He's scaring people. Well, we're going to go into another Great Depression. Time's going to be a little hard with this tariff war, maybe. Maybe it won't. Maybe they give it in immediately. I don't know. But in the long run, this shit going to pay off. I'm optimistic about that.
This is what sustains the regime. The funding and the jobs, they can't have those people out of work. They have to be at work exporting to the United States.
90s Pelosi. Montoya said she changed. Like Pop-Up said, Montoya, she got the call. She got the call. So let's recap. Trump's tariff plan. One is reciprocal. The countries that he's enacting tariffs on got some astronomical tariff on America, and we are not responding in kind, and now we will be. Two, we have all the leverage in this situation. Our purchasing power determines a lot of GDP and a lot of revenue, or a lot of revenue going to these countries. If we're not buying from these countries, their economy is going to fucking tank. So we have all the leverage. So the countries that try to hold out won't be able to hold out the minute America stops buying from them. They'll fall in line. 3, Trump's using this as leverage. I'm sorry, as a bargaining chip with manufacturing companies. Kohler, Ford, Honda, Hyundai, Apple, UAE. They're all pledging a certain amount of money to the economy and making sure that jobs and manufacturing comes back here for their companies that they have. We're already seeing the positive benefits of the tariffs. See, the mainstream media won't report on that stuff. Not to mention that Trump already had tariffs enacted back in his first term that Biden didn't even get rid of. Wonder why? Because it worked? People keep pointing to the Great Depression. Oh, the Great Depression, the tariffs is why we had the Great Depression. No, they tried to enact tariffs again after the Great Depression happened. So the minute the minute the economy fucking tanked during the Great Depression, that's when they tried to reverse course and go to tariffs. It was too late by then. But you can't tell these people nothing. I'm optimistic on the tariffs, and you should be too. Especially if it's going to get us from not having to pay income tax, federal income tax. If anything, you should be rooting for that shit simply because of that. You can get 30%, 40% of your income back. I'm happy. Actually, Montoya's right. I guess with federal taxes, you're looking at it between with just federal taxes, you're looking at around 28%. 28% to 30% of your taxes is federal tax. Still, 28 to 30% of federal taxes back in your pocket. If this tariff plan is successful, you should be rooting for that shit too. Exactly. Yep. But salute the 1990s. 1990s Pelosi. She was based. Very interesting. Very interesting. So check this out.
And
we're going to talk about this before we get out of here.
And New Yorkers stop me all the time in trying to find the rationale behind this. And I found it in this book. I'm going to encourage every New Yorker to read it. And New Yorkers stop me all.
Hey, yo. So New York dismissed the charges with prejudice against Eric Adams. So that RICO shit, that bullshit they was trying to get him on, that shit is out the door. They're saying, oh, they did it so that the Trump administration wouldn't try to hold it over his head. No, they were trying to help him. They dismissed that. But coming out of this, okay, Eric Adams is now seen the light. He's been red-pilled, essentially. I'm going to play this one more time. Look, let me pause
all the time in trying to find the rationale behind this. And I found it in this book.
Government Gangsters by Kash Patel. That is Eric Adams fucking behold a pale horse. Eric Adams has saw the light. He has left the Democratic Party, people. Is now running as an independent. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Think about it, right? He was in lockstep. He was a good soldier. Until he started to think for himself and he started to ask the critical questions. Hey, how are we supposed to support all of these illegals? We can't. The minute he started asking questions, that's when the lawfare started to happen against him. It don't take a rocket scientist to see that shit. Once he saw that he was being persecuted, just like Trump and other political figures before him, persecuted, started to wise up. So now Eric Adams is now independent, and he'll be running as an independent. I think that's a good look for him. If he can run a good race, he'll re-win, his office as mayor. Now, I think the machine is going to put somebody else in there and funnel and put a lot of money behind that person. Hopefully people in New York aren't stupid. I think Eric Adams might have actually legitimately did a 180. I think he might be operating a little differently now. But all I'm going to say is this. Salute to Eric Adams. Way to get off that plantation, sir. Way to get out of the MK Ultra. Way to get out of the Matrix. You're awake now, and now you got to start to make moves like ninjas, just like the rest of us. Can this politician be that stupid that they get in the game without knowing shit about players? Some of them are. Some of them are gullible as fuck, Rick. I think that he falls in that gullible category. You don't get to learn. What do you say? You don't get to learn everything after we told you. We don't believe you. You need more people. I think this shit is legit. I don't think this is a grift. I think he legitimately is doing a heel turn on the Democratic Party. We're gonna see how it go, though. You know what I mean? We're gonna see how it go. I'm not gonna do what the Democrats do. I'm not gonna be up here talking about, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! He's on our side now, and they start praising him, and then he do some shit we don't like, and then they're like, fuck him. He made a good move. Hopefully it works out in his favor. Hopefully he does right by his constituents that gets him reelected, and hopefully he really understands what we're up against. So we'll see. We'll see how it go. Oh, I don't trust him either. I'm just saying. I think that, but at the same time, I think he might be in his Hotep rage right now. Oh man, that is funny. I think he might be in his Hotep rage right now. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all, guys. That's all I got for y'all. Like I said, if you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Share the stream, guys. Let people know we live. You catching that replay, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. I could use that constructive criticism. You want to donate to the channel? $, Canon Hotep on Cash App, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Always welcome, guys. I'm going to try to build up my Rumble. So I'm using Rumble Studio now. So I want to try to build up my Rumble presence, and I'm going to try to build my Kick presence up a little more. I'm going to try to deviate away from YouTube as much as possible, guys. Anyway. Until next time, it's Canon Hotep saying, be blessed, stay strapped, don't miss. And don't worry about tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow got enough problems of its own. Worry about today. I'll holler at you.
to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes.